Hello YouTube, Dave here again. I am back with another just short pickups video. I like to do these at least once a month just to show off some of the things that I've picked up in the last few weeks. And I've got a few things here that I'm actually pretty excited about. Nothing like earth-shattering or holy grail level items like I've had for the some of the last ones that I've done, but still some really cool stuff nonetheless. So the first thing I want to start with is one of the first things that I've picked up since my last pickup video, and that is another flip mat for the Starfinder role-playing game. So this is the Warship flip mat, and I'm looking forward to opening this up and doing a video on it as well. But this is a pretty cool looking map here, and this is basically for like a really large vessel sort of thing. So I know like in the Dead Suns adventure path, the final chapter has, I think it's referred to as super colossal ship that the characters have to interact with, and it's something that is almost as like it's like Star Trek level sized ships, like the Enterprise or Romulan Warbird versus the other ones, which are much smaller in nature, kind of like ships off of Firefly. Sort of idea. So the super colossal ship I thought was a really interesting concept, and I don't think it's ever really been touched on since, which is a bit of a shame because I would really like to see more of that kind of thing. And the ship was just too large for the characters to take on in a standard battle, so they actually had to board the ship, and it became almost like a mini dungeon kind of thing. So really cool idea, and this map just sort of puts me in that mindset. That just looks like it's going to be something that's just absolutely, for a massive ship to use. And hopefully, again, something like that can come back and be used again. Because I think it'd be really cool to see more super colossal ships and more rules for using them. I think would be really interesting. So anyway, really happy to have that. There's also a spaceport flip mat that is out that I haven't picked up as of yet, but it is something that I am hoping to pick up in time for next month's video. But anyway, start off with a really cool flip mat, and I just love these products anyway. So even just having this, even if I don't use it with the Dead Suns Adventure Path, I would still try to find a way to use this regardless. So really cool to have that. Alright, up next, I was just going through the city the other day, and I live in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, which is part of the Halifax Regional Municipality, so I went over to the Halifax side of the city there, actually just the day before I'm recording this, and I just wanted to check out some of the game stores over there, and Monster Comic Lounge had several of these types of products here, and this is the D&D collector series miniatures. These were put out by Gale Force 9, and this is one for Jarlaxle Bainray or Benair. I can't remember exactly how to pronounce the last name. It's not a real last name, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But this is really cool. Jarlaxle is one of my all-time favorite characters that's ever appeared in the R.A. Salvatore novels. One of my favorite storylines actually was the Sellswords trilogy, which focused on Jarlaxle and Artemis, and it was just such a great series. So really cool to have this. Again, Jarlaxle is one of my favorite characters from like novel series that I've read. My plan is right now probably to leave this sealed, just because I'm not super great at painting miniatures at this point in time, especially ones that are this small and have like as much details on it as this one does, and I would really want to do a great job on it. So I might see if they still have some in stock next time I'm over there. I may pick up a second one if I do feel adventurous. But these aren't cheap. This is a resin miniature. It's not just regular plastic, I guess, so it's a little bit more higher quality. So this one miniature cost me $14, and that's Canadian price. So I know a lot of my viewers live in the United States. It would be cheaper there by a decent amount. But here in Canada, after taxes, 15% sales tax where I lived, this was $14. But in my opinion, totally worth it, just because Jarlaxle, again, is one of my all-time favorite characters. So to have a figure of him is just awesome. I should state that there is a Jarlaxle mini that came with the Legend Drizzt board game that I have, but this is still, super cool to have, and it's a separate piece that I can display beyond just the board game itself. So really cool to have that. Alright, next thing I picked up, this is a recent release. I just picked it up today, actually. I literally just got home from picking this up, and it is a warm day out, unfortunately, but I do have, I stopped at McDonald's and picked up a large drink for, $1, which is awesome, even if it is got condensation all over my table now. But one of the things, I was really excited to pick this up, and I think this is something that is going to be very, very handy, and something that I would probably end up recommending as maybe not an essential, but something that is should be highly considered if you're going to run the RPG. But this is the Starfinder Rules Reference Cards. So this is a set of, does it say how many? 110 cards, which feature like little rule snippets and information on basically just about all the major things you could think of for the game. I think there's going to be stuff like ship battles, fighting in zero gravity, how to interact with vacuums, different movement types, cover, flanking, stamina. It's probably going to be like resolve points, stuff like that as well. So I think this is going to be a very, very worthwhile pickup for anyone who is into the Starfinder role-playing game. And I will be doing an unboxing video for this, which will probably be up the day after I upload this video. I'm going to record it as soon as I'm done with this one, but I'm going to upload it a day later, or maybe even a couple days later, and give my Patreon supporters a little bit of early access. But regardless, this is something I think is going to be really, really awesome. Retail price $19.99 US. It was $24.99 Canadian, which wasn't too bad overall. So really, really cool to have that. And along with that, I also ordered in and received the Goblin Fight deck. So this is for the Pathfinder adventure card game. It's a pack of 109 cards, and this is for the first style of the Pathfinder adventure card game. So just looking at the cards on the back here, it looks like they are formatted very differently. But there is a conversion guide in the core set that Paizo sent me. So with that in mind, I should be able to show off what the cards look like in here, as well as just sort of show you how to use the conversion guide as well for probably one or two of the cards that are in here, just to show how that works. So that'll be another video that I will be recording pretty much right after this one, and uploading a few days later. But really, really cool. And with that, I am one step closer to be able to run the storybook for We Be Heroes. And like I said, I wanted to go through this entire scenario. There's not a ton of adventures in this. I think it's only a couple of scenarios long. So there's 1A, 1B, and I guess that's it. So there's only going to be like three different things to do, but it does say that it uses cards from the Goblin expansions that they had. For example, so this is Goblin Fight, and then there's Goblin Burn as well that it recommends. So that you can use characters for in that. It may use other cards from that as well. I'm not quite sure. I'll still have to actually read through this, but having this here now is just super awesome. And I can't wait to actually give this, to open this up and have a look at it. And I can't wait to start running through just the scenarios in here, because I think this is really, really cool little storybook, and really, really cool idea to have that for the free RPG day. So one step closer to that, which is really, really cool. So glad to have those as well. And that's going to lead me to sort of the last major thing that we've got that I picked up recently. And it's not RPG related, it's not card game related, but it is one of my other, things that I absolutely love, and that is, my Nintendo Switch. And what I ended up picking up was a copy of Super Mario Maker 2. This is awesome. Super Mario Maker was I think one of the greatest ideas that Nintendo has had in a very, very long time. It was basically a level editor. You could do all kinds of things with it, and it was really, really popular and really, really successful. And I think it probably ended up selling quite a few Switch consoles just based on the fact that that was available for it alone. And it was a lot of fun. Actually, my Wii U that I bought is the one that came with Super Mario Maker 2, or it had like a download code for it. So really, really love this game. But Super Mario Maker 2 is almost 100%, like in every way, shape, or form possible, an improvement on the first one, which is what you really want anyway. For example, you don't have to unlock all, like with the first one you had very limited stuff that you could do at the beginning, and you had to unlock stuff as you went, which made sense that, you know, it didn't want to throw too much at you all at once. But with this one, everything's pretty much available right from the get-go. There are a few small things that you can unlock. There's a single-player story mode, which has like 100 levels developed by Nintendo itself, by people at Nintendo, and just really, really, really cool stuff. Has Super Mario 3D World as its own alternate style, and I hope that they do expansions on it to introduce a few other gameplay styles. Like, for example, they could do something with like the Game Boy ones, like Super Mario Land or Super Mario Land 2. I would love to see Super Mario Brothers 2 have that art style available to you, especially since you can do local multiplayer on levels that you design yourself. 2 players can design at the same time, and just really, really, really cool stuff. I haven't made a ton of levels yet. My daughter and I, as soon as we picked this up, we did make a couple levels, and I'm actually going to show one off here very, very shortly. It's the only level that I've actually uploaded, but again, just a really, really cool game. And if you are a Nintendo fan and you have a Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend picking this up. Even if you're not creative yourself or great at making levels yourself, hundreds of people are making levels out there, if not thousands or millions even. So there's all kinds of things out there for you to try, even if you're not particularly find the idea of making your own levels fun. There's just a lot of really cool stuff on here. And the story mode itself, again, gives you 100 levels designed by Nintendo staff. And that alone, you know, is what you would get for like a full-fledged Mario game. So really, really cool stuff here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set up my Switch in like the handheld mode, and I will show you the one level that I made. I'm not an expert at this, by the way, so it's not one of those things that I expect it to be, you know, super difficult or something that, you know, is going to like set the world on fire. But it was just us sort of playing around with some of the features that were available. So I'm going to get that set up, and I will be right back. Alright, so this is the level that I designed. It's called the Boom Boom Brigade, and one of the things that this game has is victory conditions. So instead of just having to reach the end of the stage, instead of just having to reach the end of the stage, there are also objectives that you can have. That could be things like having to be Super Mario, like have the mushroom be the larger size when you before you can beat the stage, or you have to be riding Yoshi, you have to collect so many coins, you have to defeat you know, certain enemies, things like that. So what I actually have here is there are 5 Boom Booms sort of at the end. It's kind of like a little boss rush, you could say. And I have it set up so that, oh, that sucks. I have it set up so that you have to defeat all 5 of the Boom Booms, which is the maximum number you can have in a stage, by the way, but you have to defeat all of them or you can't actually beat the level. I also want to make this a bit more challenging, so I threw in the Angry Sun and Baby Bowser as well, and a key door. So there's just a lot going on here in this particular section. Although Baby Bowser can take out the... that was pretty good. So there we go. I defeated all of them, and as you can see up above me, I have the little flag text box or text bubble. So what that means right now is that if I go through, the gold tape will actually be there. If I had defeated the Boom Booms, then what would have happened was... that the gold tape would have been all red, or all black, sorry. And let's just actually beat the level here. So yeah, so that's basically some of the things that you can do. There's all kinds of really cool things in this game. Again, if you have a Nintendo Switch, highly, highly recommend picking this up. I think it's an awesome game. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the pickups. Let me know what are some of the things that you've picked up in the last week or so. Or last month or so, I guess I should say. And for example, if you have Mario Maker, let me know what some of your levels are, and I'd love to try them out if you have a Switch and have been making levels. Anyway, once again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you next time. Take care.